Hey, Jesse, how you doing today?
What's up? I'm doing great. How are you?
Do fantastic. Love the day here in San Diego. I think it was raining yesterday as we record this. We're drizzling anyways. So now we have some nice weather. It's great.
All right, back to sunny San Diego.
That's right. That's right. So you actually run is it a business, a company, Mango Automotive?
Sure. Yeah. All those things.
All of the above? If you could describe in a nutshell what Mango Automotive is for those who don't know.
Sure. We do aftermarket automotive repair. So mechanical repair, not body work. We do quick lube also, like oil changes, brakes, engines, everything in between.
Really? So when did you first start the Mango Automotive?
Okay. I started Mango Automotive we opened the first shop December 27th, 2021.
That's pretty recent, though. It's only been around for like 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, it's newish, yeah.
Wow. Now, the biggest question I have, I guess, with Mango Automotive is like, why Mango Automotive?
Okay. When I got started in the brick and mortar automotive world, I looked around and there were all of these shops that I couldn't remember their names. It's like J&J Automotive, Wrenchworks Automotive, Pinnacle
Joe's Automotive.
Joe's Garage. They all sounded the same, so I wanted a name that was memorable. My sister actually suggested Mango Automotive, and I socialized it with my business partner, my mother-in-law. Everyone hated it. So I thought that's perfect because it evokes a strong feeling and you'll never forget it. So when we opened our first shop, all of a lot of other shops talked smack about us and our name, but they didn't forget us.
Wow. So what sets Mango Automotive apart from like Joe Blow's Gas and Fix or something,
Well, I think that Joe Blow, my dad used to say Joe Blow. When you go to Joe Blow's, you walk in and there's oil stains on the carpet and a pot of burnt coffee and probably a 10-year-old Sports Illustrated sitting on the table that's offending you.
And don't forget like the seats you wait in the waiting room are just like got rips and tears.
Oh yeah, you're like, should I sit on that?
Right. They got tires like in the waiting room, just like sitting there. They just took off a car.
Yes, exactly. You're like, I hope I'm not wearing shorts because I don't want my legs to touch those chairs.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do things differently in that, right? I mean, I think automotive repair has been around for 150 years. It's a bit of an aging industry, and the customer service bar needs to be elevated. So we implemented what we call the pink wall effect, which is...
Well, tell me more. What's that about?
Well, we do actually have a pink wall, but it's seats that you actually don't mind sitting on. We diffuse essential oils. We don't have any nasty tires in the lobby.
Do you have actually scent oils in the lobby?
Essential oils, yeah.
Really?
Making it smell good. I think this is what often happens with a new customer. They'll call and make their appointment or make their appointment online, and they'll show up the day of their appointment, park their car, walk into the lobby, look around, look very confused, slowly back out of the front door, look up at the sign. Okay, this is an automotive shop. Walk back in because they feel like they've walked into like a spa or a co-working space.
Right. Or Starbucks or something.
They're like, where am I?
Do you guys sell lattes at the Mango Automotive?
We don't, although if there's anyone listening who owns a coffee shop in New Mexico, West Texas, or Arizona, I'd love to partner with you because I think that we should have a proper coffee shop. We do have, a little machine, but...
Something's better than nothing.
I think along with elevating the customer experience, right now in aftermarket automotive repair, women make 65% of the decisions, but we're still not doing a great job speaking to them. I think as recently as last year, there was a study that came out that women are charged more for the same services, which is
no way.
As a woman, crazy to hear, right?
Well, it kind of makes sense. There's always these running jokes like skits and sketches about how a woman goes into a repair shop and then the salesman's telling her that her unicorn tire needs to be replaced and whatever nonsense. Just, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, makes sense. Yeah, sure. How much is that? $8,000? That sounds about right. Yeah. No problem. So you're trying to bring in women to the repair shop and feel like a very comfortable space. I'm assuming
Yeah, and
for
I think to do that, like we really believe you have to have women on both sides of the table. So we outpace the average women in automotive by 7 times the industry average. It's still not enough. We still need more women in automotive, but to bring equality to the space, you just have to have all kinds of people on both sides of the table. Like your employees have to look like your customers.
what do you mean by that?
Well, you have this space that's traditionally owned and run by men, and there are men at the counter, and there's men in the back shop, and you have customers that are majority women. So you have women coming into a shop that's owned by men. But not only in terms of gender, I think race, everything. Like you need to have, different kinds of people. The same kinds of people working at your shop as the customers you're serving, right? That helps us feel comfortable as humans.
Right, right. So do you guys work on almost every type of vehicle at your shops? Is there anything excluded? Like I won't touch those kind of vehicles?
We don't work on a lot of vintage cars. We do work on
Okay.
electric vehicles. We do work on diesels. We work on most everything. A super high-end car we might not work on because unfortunately if someone scratches like
Okay. So like a
you
certain dollar
can't
value.
afford
So it's like someone brings in like say a $3 million vintage car. You're like, we're not touching that.
yeah. Otherwise we'll
Just for
work.
liability reasons, I guess, and things like that.
Right. It's
I
just
can
not our
imagine.
specialty. Yeah.
Is there any kind of liability insurance for something like that? What happened on a regular car, like a Honda Civic or something like that? Like, how does that work? Like, if someone brings in my Honda Civic and you guys, I don't know, run something into it, like, how does that work?
Oh, if we ran, we
Yeah,
did it.
something.
I mean, if we're
Yeah,
responsible, of course we have insurance and we'll cover that. And we just believe in, you want to do the right thing. I mean, I think
right.
everyone in automotive talks about this. So yeah, of course, if we screw something else, like we're going to fix it, whether that's through our insurance or not.
Okay. So when you got started with your first shop, what made you decide to even go into automotive in the first place versus say something else? I mean, there's plenty of other entrepreneurial shops you could have done.
I know. What am I even doing here? Uh, I had been in software for many years. And I stumbled into an automotive software. So I was chief product officer in that role. I learned a ton about the automotive repair industry. It's a 150-year-old industry, and at the time you had 6 out of 10 owners looking to retire within the next 6 years. So you had an aging industry where there was going to be huge transfer of wealth. And I think I kind of feel comfortable in the shop. Like my grandfather owned an aviation repair shop. My other grandfather had like a hitch repair shop. So sort of grew up in that dirty environment.
Well, also 150 years ago, even gosh, maybe 30 years ago, everyone says cars are so much easier to work on back then than they are today. Everything's computers and software. You worked in software. So I just kind of wondering how those skills kind of transferred to today's cars, versus like, cars with carburetors like back in the day.
Yeah, it is. There's like the computer transformation, there was a carbureted engine transformation, and there's a transformation we're undergoing now, however slow or fast it's going, like toward electric vehicles. And it's true. I mean, I couldn't work on a vehicle, but our master techs in our shop are geniuses by their own right.
How do they get certified through you guys? Do you guys have a program? Do you have to go a hiring process? How's that work?
Yeah, so ASE is the sort of like the name of the game in certification. So that's how you become a master tech. You pass all your ASE certs. So that's an outside organization that certifies technicians.
And then you hire them through that program? It's like, do they push them? Do you do like I'm not sure how it works for an automotive mechanic.
It's not really that way. It's just like if you have a job and you have a degree and you apply for the job, then you're like, I got a degree from Harvard. So like
Right.
when they apply for a job for us, they'll be like, I have all of my ASE certs and they're current. Or if they're not, we're like, you got to get those things current.
And there's now, when you check to see if they are current, is there like a website or a certification wall you can go to verify that stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, because I have no idea how this stuff works or whatever. Now I was kind of wondering if you guys have like a skills test, like, hey, fine, before you work for here, you have to like rebuild that engine in 10 minutes. Go do it right now. Go.
That would be fun. I think that our applicants would not enjoy having to work for us before they got the job. But there is some sorting out, like our foreman in the shop is going to understand, what skills they have, and our manager as well, and like what jobs are the best jobs for them to work on. And we have a foreman that they can always run to if they get, stuck. That foreman is overseeing all of the work. We're QCing all of the work. So no matter what what they like to work on, we back them up in terms of making sure that repair was quality.
Now, it's one of the requirements to work in your shop or any shop for that matter is to be able to drive a manual transmission?
Good question. That's one thing I can do, drive a manual transmission. I don't think it's... My first car was like this little Ford Ranger. My grandfather had got it with no extras. I mean, we had to roll down the windows. And this was in the early 2000s too. So I'm not that old, but it was a manual transmission. And he gave it to me, and it just was like, I was going to school in San Diego and living in LA. And it was like, okay, here you go. You better learn to drive it to San Diego right now.
Wow. You made it work though. So you made it happen?
I did. I stalled it quite a few times on the way down there. You're good once you're on the freeway. It's mostly freeway driving.
I remember when taking my sports car to a shop a couple times, and every time I take it in, because it's stick shift, they're like, we got to find someone that can drive it like around the back to the shop or pull it out of the shop. Oh, we're gonna bring your car's done. We're going to find someone who can drive a stick to bring it around the front. I kind of thrown back by that, thinking like, oh my gosh, it makes sense. A lot of people don't know how to drive stick shifts, but I was kind of wondering if you work at a shop, you would think it'd be required to like.
It's definitely not a requirement, but yeah, we got to have most of our team can drive stick shift. Even my daughter, who's 19 now, she started working at a mango shop when she was 16. And the car that we got for her is manual transmission, because I was like, you have to learn to drive a stick.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. I was thinking about teaching my son how to drive a stick shift. He doesn't have his license yet, but we bought him an automatic car. But I was kind of wondering, like, where can you find like a really cheap, inexpensive, manual transmission car just to teach him on? Not like to own, just like, run through the process of driving. I'm online.
That sounds like you need a friend with a manual.
Well, I have mine, but I don't want ruining it. So I want one that's kind of already like beat up, like on its last legs, just to kind of like, just to get them the idea of like using a stick shift.
You know what? The truth is, automotive repair shops have clunkers around sometimes.
Oh, really?
You might ask your local automotive repair shop. It's like someone brings their vehicle in to get fixed. Turns out it costs more money to fix it than the doggone car is worth, and they just like sort of leave it there. But it might still run and like be on its last legs.
So wait. Now you got me curious. Now you got me curious. How does that even work? So it's like someone comes in with like, say, a car that's worth $2,000 and needs $3,000 worth of work or whatever, and they're just like, screw it, and they just leave it there. Now, legally, how does that even work?
Yeah, there's like a different process state by state where we communicate with the customer mostly. We're like, do you want it back? Yeah. Are you coming to get it? And sometimes they just don't even, it's not worth it for them to tow it, right? So we can acquire the pink slip like through a mechanic's lien if we need to go
mechanic's
that route.
lien, huh? How's that? How does mechanic's lien even work? Like, what's the steps?
I don't know. My team knows though.
Okay, no worries. This is fascinating.
You file something with the DMV. You wait for some time to pass.
Okay, but like it depends on state to state. So like California can have different rules and things like that.
It's different in every state. Yeah, you wait for some time to pass. Eventually, you can potentially get the pink slip, and then either fix it up and sell it, or sell it for scrap metal, or do whatever you got to do with it.
Wow. Well, that's crazy.
We sometimes have like internal giveaways in our company where we'll give away a vehicle to one of our employees.
Really? Check that little bonus, huh? Bonus check and give you a brand new car. You get a car. That's great.
We'll just be like, we like to have our employees share stories and like nominate people. Some cars, we'd love to do it with customers, but some cars are just, you got to keep them internal because you really should be a mechanic to own that car.
Oh, of course, I would think. I'll always be fixing something on the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic. So how many shops do you guys have running right now operational?
We have 8 shops.
8 shops across 3 states?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, are they all fairly close? I mean, what states were they in?
So New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. So
they're all fairly close.
7 of 8 are drivable within a half day.
Okay.
And we have one that's kind of out there that we got to fly to.
Now, why did you choose those states? Like, why there?
Oh, just because I was in Albuquerque when I started Mango, so we just started there.
And kind of branched out from that spot, kind of
Yeah,
deal?
exactly. So they're easier to manage when they're nearby and you can actually go to them.
Now, what is the requirement for a shop to convert from Joe Blow's House of Cars to Mango Automotive?
What's the requirement? Well, it depends on what the owner is looking for. Typically we're working with owners who want to retire and sell. We're looking for shops that have a minimum of 7 bays and are doing at least $1 million in revenue for it to be, a potential acquisition for us.
Now, they have to be doing those before you guys come on board with Mango Automotive?
We can float those numbers potentially, right? Like we
Right.
tend to look at the whole picture. So the first shop we acquired, it had 12 bays, but they were only doing like $800K in revenue. And we knew it was in a good location and we could turn it around. We call that shop a turnaround. That shop's doing, I think, right around 3 million right now. So we've grown it over the last 3 years. So we take different things into account, but that is sort of like our starting acquisition criteria. I just personally don't know how to make money from like a 2 or 3 bay shop because you got one manager out there. It's fine if the owner can be backup, right? Like your manager, gets sick and someone's got to be there. But how we run a shop, really, we've got 3 people up front, and a crew of 7, 8, or 9 techs in the back. So can run that out of a tiny 2 or 3 bay shop.
And it's always too, is like, if I take a vehicle to a 2 bay shop, it's like, you're going to be on a waiting list to get in there because if they've got 5 cars ahead of you or whatever it is, so what is the average turnaround time? Say I came in with something, not something serious, but something kind of like, say, I don't need a radiator or something. What would be the turnaround time on a shop that had 12 bays or 10 bays?
Yeah, for sure. It's really important to us to get our customers in same day because we know vehicles are critical. So we work our butts off to get customers in same day and to get them out the same day. If you have a radiator problem, you don't know you have a radiator problem and it needs to be diagnosed, that's where a lot of the time can go into the diagnosing to try to figure out what's wrong with that car before we fix it. But I would hope if you brought it in, in the morning that we could have it out the same day at the end of the day.
Okay. Do you guys have any kind of loaner program for like loaner vehicles or anything like that or no?
We do not do loaner vehicles, but we will Uber or Lyft you to wherever you need to go.
Oh, you guys have your own personal shuttle, like your little van? Like the dealerships have this van. They take you from like to your house if it was within range.
Yeah, so we did have shuttles, and we just found that shuttles were like, if you're shuttling someone, your customer has to wait. Lyfts, if we have 5 customers that need to be picked up right now, we can call 5 Lyfts. So we found that to be much easier. And while we have a customer's car, like we can, if we lift them to their office and then they need to be lifted to their house, like we'll lift them around while we're working on their vehicle.
Okay. That makes sense. Pretty easy to do, I guess. It's and you don't have to use your vehicle for it too, and pay for another employee, pay for, that kind of stuff too. Although, are you paying for the lifts or you have them pay for the lifts?
We pay for them.
Okay, so there's some costs involved with that, so it's not all free and funsies and that sort of thing. The question, I guess, when it comes to shop repair and things, what is the craziest repair you've heard of? Like most expensive repair? They're like, oh my gosh, they need like a whole new engine because
it is always the whole new engine that is the most expensive repair because that engine itself can run, $10,000 is for the engine. And then we got to have our master tech spend 3 days dropping the new engine in. So those are always heavy lifts.
And the core charge too. You still do core charges on those too, I believe.
Yep.
Is it usually because they didn't change the oil? Is that what it is?
I think a lot of times it's like older vehicles. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard stories of people throwing rods because they're trying to push the engine beyond its limits. Like, I know most modern vehicles have like a shut off too if like oil pressure drops or if something like that happens. Usually it goes in like a limp mode or whatever. But sometimes maybe some sensors out or whatever or something like that. And they don't know and they're climbing a hill, towing a boat or something. And boom, there goes the engine. I've seen it happen a couple times.
Yeah, so you know more than me.
Well, I mean, it never happened to me because I changed my oil, you know. Hey, speaking of oil changes, one thing I love about Mango Automotive, I was looking at your website, is that you offer something I haven't seen before. Maybe because I just haven't seen this, is the monthly subscription. Can you tell me how that works and what do you get with that?
Sure. But I don't really want to talk.
Oh, what?
No. I think we do definitely still have some customers. We're getting ready to deprecate the monthly
Okay.
subscription
Okay. Oh,
program.
then scratch that idea. I just thought on your website yesterday, I was like, that's kind of interesting program.
We do have a 60-month, 60,000-mile warranty, which is in the locations that we operate almost unheard of. You typically see 2-3 year warranties, but we really want to make sure our customer is covered for that repair.
So it only warranties the work that you guys touched, I'm assuming, nothing outside of that.
Yeah. It's not I think you're touching on what's like aftermarket warranties. We actually explored that space and like played in it. And it's a challenging space right now for owners and just vehicle owners, and I think automotive repair shop businesses, because those warranty companies, they like to pretend like they're offering you the world. And then when it comes down to it, they don't want to cover crap.
Yeah, so you guys have to deal with, if there's warranty work that you're covering through your shop, you got to go through the warranty company, and the warranty company gives you guys the runaround.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, our advisors will spend, an hour on the phone just trying to get someone over there to pick up. And then they'll say, we're only going to cover it if we ship you this used eBay part. We're
No
like,
way.
what happens when that breaks? Because we can't warranty the used part off of eBay, right? But they're like, this is the cheapest price on the internet, so that's what we're warrantying it for. So there is, usually we'll just talk to our customer, like, what do you want to do? They'll cover, it's great news, like they'll cover 40% of your repair or 60% of your repair. But I think it's kind of disappointing because the warranty company sells them this product that doesn't show up for them.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like I have my struggles with warranty companies. When I bought my last 2 vehicles, I said, screw it, not doing any extra warranties. I'll just pay out of pocket if we need something fixed or whatever, knock on wood. But
you might be better served like putting the money you're paying for the warranty into a savings account.
Yeah, and they're so expensive too. I think they're trying to quote me a couple, like $3,000-$5,000 for a warranty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, gosh, like half the price of an engine.
Yeah, I could cover a lot of repairs for that $5,000.
And they try to sell it to me too. I remember I bought my truck. They're trying to upscale me. I bought my truck brand new from Ford, and Ford, like almost every manufacturer, gives you their own Ford, their warranty from the company.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I had was it 60,000 mile 5-year powertrain, I think. And I think Hyundai does the 100,000 still, I think, on new vehicles. Was it 3-year, 36,000? Maybe they give you bumper to bumper. Most of them give you that. And so if they all give you that, then, and they're trying to extend it. Well, you go 100,000 miles or whatever, that kind of deal. But then it's an additional like $5,000 or whatever on top of what we paid for and stuff. And vehicles are so expensive. So,
so expensive right now. It's insane.
Well, it depends what kind of vehicle you get. So, Mercedes-Benz, they're expensive and things of that sort. So, what is the most expensive vehicle that you've seen roll through your shop that you guys had to work on?
Oh, no.
You don't know? Maybe like $100,000?
When you get up to those really like luxury vehicles, $100,000 is nothing these days. Like you can buy a Chevy truck that costs you $100,000. Like I have a Honda Pilot because I have a bajillion kids. That thing cost me like 60 something. And I have a Sprinter van, and that thing we bought during COVID, and it was still, it was $90,000.
Wow. That's crazy.
And now, it's in the cost of vehicles is crazy.
So because the cost of vehicles are crazy, is the cost of repairs crazy too?
Everything's inflated. I would say the cost of repairs is higher than we would like it to be. And I think the pressures on us are the rising cost of parts. So we've seen, since COVID, parts have gone up, in some cases up to 50% the previous prices. And then our doggone employees want to be paid a living wage.
What is that?
It
Well,
depends.
I mean, you gotta pay people. You gotta pay people. So is the cost to run the shop, is the majority of the cost in the parts or the labor? Probably labor, I would think. It's probably the biggest expense, right?
Oh, sort of like the biggest line item. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, labor.
Yeah. Well, that's with any industry, really, if you think about it,
Yeah,
you know?
because it's labor to work on the cars in the front of the house, the advisors who are educating the customer. I mean, in automotive repair, you see profit margins for smaller shops that are sort of like around $1 million. Oftentimes, those profit margins are depressed, like in the 10% range.
Okay.
So that's kind of crazy, right? Like if a shop is making $1 million, you would probably like be hard pressed to get 100K out of that shop in profit. And that's if the owner is working inside the business.
That's crazy.
And those numbers can sort of, they scale up because you're still paying your rent, you're still paying for your software. So if that shop, then if you can scale it to like, there's a big gap between 1 and 2 million, and you'll probably scale your profit from 10% to 20% as you're scaling that shop. But yeah, we see a lot of automotive repair shops that are really not making it. I looked at one yesterday with 4 locations where they're making their P&L profit was $13,000 across all
What?
4 locations, which
Is
means
that for the year?
for the last year, which means that they're losing money in a lot of cases. So people think like, oh, these services businesses, they make so much money, and profits can be had, and you have to be careful with your expenses at the end of the day. We do expense reduction January, and we just went through it, and we're like, we're calling our cable company, saving $30 a month, because every dollar you save goes straight to the bottom line, right?
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, right now we have a sort of massive empire. I mean, our payroll is $250,000, and we have 91 families that, depend on Mango to keep going to feed their families. So it's a heavy feeling. I'm so thankful to those employees, and we got to make sure that we take care of them.
Oh, definitely. So of your shops, which one is the most profitable and why?
Okay, our oldest one, probably.
The original one?
It's just so for us, when we acquire a shop, and most of the shops we acquire are turnarounds, and that we want to grow the revenue in those shops. So the growth takes money. So when we're growing the shop, it's breaking even at best, but it's usually losing money because we're growing rapidly, right? When we're in growth mode, we're growing 50 to 100% year over year. So any funds that the shop is generating are just being reinvested into marketing to grow that shop. And then once you get to sort of this maintenance level, or you're at capacity and you can dip down your marketing and you have those returning customers, that's when you really start to see those profit numbers. So time there is the key, our ownership time of the shop.
Okay. So, when you do take it over as a Mango Automotive shop versus the Joe's Automotive shop, like how long does it take to see numbers kind of like increase from what they were? Let's say they were doing, like you said, the 13,000 a year, whatever it was. How quickly could you turn something like that around?
Oh, that profit number.
Yeah. Being that it is now a Mango shop versus the Joe's whatever shop.
I mean, we're going to probably lose more money when we take it over. We'll lose more money than they lost because we want to grow the revenue. So we have to grow the revenue before we can realize any profits.
Oh,
So our
interesting.
first shop that we talked about, December 2021, they were doing like 800K. They're doing 3 million now. They're seeing some profits, which is great for them. So that's how much time it's taken us to grow. Sometimes we can double the revenue in the first 12 months, but then you see growth. It's like that initial year after we own it, revenue sometimes explodes. And then we see sort of like smaller, like 50 or 30% growth in the following years.
Interesting. Now, when you first take over a new shop, what kind of like marketing strategies do you get to like get people interested in that shop? Because to the general public, when they see Mango Automotive, they've never seen before, like, ooh, what's this place? Kind of a thing.
Yeah, we're sort of lucky that we have developed a name in New Mexico and El Paso, so people do know about us. And I mean, employees want to work for us, and we have sort of like a wait list for employees who want to move to us, and we have sort of a reputation in those areas. But we do, and when we take over a business, we one thing we're acquiring is their customers. So it's always a conversation with the customer. Like, I know you love Chuck. He's retired now. We're so happy for him, but I'm still here. I worked with Chuck. The crew in the back is still the same. We love to continue working with you. And then we grow primarily through digital ads, and we do some postcard marketing, if you can believe that.
Yeah, mail flyers, things like that. I get a lot of those too in the mail and stuff like that. So I would assume that every current customer that Joe had probably has their email on file or their information on file. You probably send them information saying, this shop is going to be turned into a Mango Automotive. Here's what we offer, things like that.
It takes about 6 months to do that transition, and customers in aftermarket automotive repair come 2 to 3 times a year. So we're typically waiting for them to give us a call or come visit us. And, we'll just say something like, we used to be Joe Blow's Automotive. Joe Blow retired. Now we're transferring to Mango Automotive. You still got the same crew here.
Okay, awesome. And you guys, I'm assuming you guys keep the same employees when you take over a shop. I mean, because that's a big fear. Like if you're working for a place and a new company comes in, you're like, first thing you think of, they're cleaning house. They're like getting rid of whatever, the manager, they're getting rid of whatever. I think that's a big fear. I'm sure you have to really kind of weigh those options out, especially with like the bottom line and like looking at your,
Employees are really one of the most valuable part of an acquisition. So you have employees, customers, and location. And I would say in that order. So we definitely want to keep the employees. And this was sort of like private equity 1.0, which we're not private equity. We're not backed by private equity. It's just my business partner, Brian. It's just Brian and Jesse doing our thing.
Brian and Jesse changing the world.
But private equity gave everyone who was buying businesses a bad name because they did this, right? They bought all these services businesses and then they ran them on the P&L. They fired a bunch of people. This happened to a business that I owned, actually, that got purchased. They fire a bunch of people. You see the profit pop up for a while, and then they wonder why the business fell apart. In a lot of cases when that happened, the old owners got to buy those businesses back for the pennies on the dollar and sort of remake them. I would say even in the private equity that we're seeing now, they've had a shift or a realization like this business has been running for X amount of years. Joe Blow's been running it and doing a great job. There must be something there. So even when I see my competitors selling to private equity, they're typically holding on to the owner. Or the things the owner is doing. So yeah, when we acquire a business, there is, we meet the employees before the transaction is closed. We let them ask us questions. We talk about their pay plan. We like to be right there when the owner announces it. We'll be in the parking lot. We'll come in. We just want a chance to talk to them before they go home and talk to their spouses and have a chance to panic, right? Like, you see us, let's talk. We're not a-holes. Like, we love to get to know you and, you're here already, so let's try it. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that makes sense. You want to make it a smooth transition as possible. Especially if these shops probably been run by their fathers and their fathers before them and fathers before them kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like how do you break the news? Like, how do they break the news? How does it all go down when you get to when you come in and put an offer in front of them when they've owned this in-house, business for multiple generations?
Yeah. I'll tell you one story about an owner. Well, something that you see a lot is some owners do have succession plans, but a lot of owners don't have succession plans. And by that, I just mean they don't know what's going to happen to the business after them because
they figure that little Joey's going to take it over.
Yeah, but these days, because there might be third generation owners, but then, little Joey says, I don't want your business, Dad. Like, I'm
Dad, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to be a YouTuber, Dad.
Yeah. So you see these owners, they don't know how to retire. They've owned a business their whole life. They, want to find a way to spend more time with their family. So oftentimes when I talk to those owners, they're excited. And I'll tell you one story about an owner. And Tom, he called me up one day about 6 months after we bought his shop. He said, Jesse, I want to go to dinner. I said, okay, Tom. He said, invite your husband. I'm going to invite my wife, invite Brian and his wife. We all go to dinner. I said, Tom, what's this dinner about? Tom says, Jesse, this is the 1-year anniversary of the day that you called me. I had been praying for someone to call me so that I could spend more time with my wife and kids and grandkids. And I'd been praying for years, and you answered my prayer. And I think that was such a powerful moment for me. I said, Tom, don't you miss the shop? Your dad worked here. Your grandfather worked here. He said, I thought I was going to miss it, but I haven't had time. And I think that's
Wow.
what it's like for a lot of owners. You know, they feel that they're ready to move on and they're not quite sure how to do it. So not everyone wants to sell their business. And if you don't want to sell your business to Mango, great. I don't want to buy it. But for those owners that want to move on to the next phase of their life, or they want to move to Florida, whatever they want to do. Like, I think those are the owners that we're really there for. Like, I love helping people. And so I love that we've had the opportunity to help 8 owners retire and spend more time with their families. Like, that is really gratifying.
It is. I mean, I can imagine what that'd be like, like you're older, you got a shop, you don't know what to do with it, you want to retire, like, okay, what is the other option for them other than having you guys buy? What could potentially happen if,
Yeah, so they could find a broker and put the business on the market. 66% of broker represented businesses never end up selling. They can reach out to competitors in their area. Competitors are, one of the big buying pools. You used to have and depending on their size, you might have a strategic player be interested in purchasing the business. So that's probably, a brand that's backed by private equity. Those brands, they used to only look at stuff that had $2 million in profit and up, which is, a multi-location, pretty sizable business. They've eaten up a lot of those shops, and I know they're sort of coming down on their minimum requirements. A lot of owners, if they purchase the property, will sell the property. I've seen a lot of businesses going to Dutch Bros, like a lot of automotive repair shops.
Becomes something completely different. Like they changed the entire building.
Because the property has appreciated so much, right? Like maybe they're only doing $100K, like we talked about, out of that business. So the business might be valued at $300,000, but the property that they purchased, 40 years ago is now a $2 million asset. And so it can't support an automotive repair shop. And the fastest way for them to get their funds out is to sort of sell it to a big name. Or if they own it, they might lease out the building, and that's the, recurring income that they want to see. So I think there's a lot of options, and all owners are in a different position, right? Do you own the business only? Do you also own the property? How much is the business valued at? What's the property valued at? What's the right move for you? I think, unfortunately, in our space, there's a lot of brokers who are not action oriented. And so that's why you see a lot of businesses sit on the market, which is sad. I think, we have purchased businesses that have been on the market with a broker for 2 years or something like that.
Wow. Now, I guess if a automotive shop is in a certain area, I was kind of wondering if, like, when you look at an automotive shop and say that there are a bunch of other competitor automotive shops in the same area, does it become kind of saturated? You're like, well, I don't know if I want to buy this one because there's like 7 other ones within a 2-mile radius. And, that play in effect.
We bought, there were 4 shops on that corner.
Really?
And that really didn't dissuade us. I mean, I think it's a great shop. We loved how the owner was doing business. It was our first shop to hit maximum capacity. So for us, that's about $400K per year per bay that we have. And we saw one of the street corners actually sold his diesel customer list to us because he was retiring and closing. And the one across the street, they're not running service out of anymore. So now it's just the 2 of us. And we have a little friendly, like, we will do sign wars and like.
Oh, no way. Give me an example of that.
Oh my gosh, I don't have one. If you can pause the recording, I can look it up. I can't think of what we said.
No, but like, okay, what would be a sign? Okay, for those who don't know, what is an example of a sign war?
Okay, a sign war is when you put things, those signs where we saw the ones where you manually put up the letters. And so you put things on those signs.
So, like, you have a sign, is it like talking trash but the other store kind of thing? Or is it just like a friendly banter?
No, it's usually friendly. So the one across the street said, "Will you be our Valentine?" They put on theirs. And then we put, oh gosh, what does this one say? Um, we are flattered, but we're already in a committed relationship with our 5-year warranty.
Oh, nice,
And then
nice.
they put like, well played, Mango, like just a little friendly banter. But I don't know. I think there are so many vehicles that need to be repaired. In fact, so many vehicles that the manufacturers themselves think Ford, Tesla can only account for. This is a wide range, but 25 to 40% of the repair work that needs to be done. So we have to have aftermarket repair shops. And in most places where we are, the average household has 2.5 vehicles. So there's so many vehicles to be worked on. I really try like to be friendly with other shop owners, like support them in any way. I always tell them when I talk to them, even if I can't buy them, I'm like, you have a great shop. We're friends. We're across the street from each other. Like if you ever need anything, let us know. Like sometimes they have a piece of equipment we don't have. I mean, I don't have a scarcity mindset like they're going to take away our
Yeah.
business or like that's too scary. Like, and we all do business in our own way, right? So I don't think that every customer is the right customer for Mango. Some might be happier to go to the shop across the street. Like that might feel more comfortable for them, or they might have a relationship with that advisor that's over there. So it's not competition. I'm going to look at, who the customers are of the shop we're acquiring and how I think we can grow the business, all of these numbers. But I'm very rarely dissuaded just because there's friendly competition. Albuquerque is a city of only 600,000 people. There's 150 automotive repair shops. So of course they're all over the city, right? And the bigger the city, the more shops you have.
I was kind of wondering, speaking of shops, you said that, mentioned with Albuquerque. Like those classic, I remember the movie Vacation where he got the tires blew out and he was like out in the middle of nowhere, that shop just like charged him this outrageous price. And I always kind of wonder if a shop is out in the middle of nowhere and they've got no competition anywhere, out in the middle of desert road somewhere, what if they could just charge whatever they want?
I know. I don't know.
Any kind of repairs. It's
I've
kind of
heard things like that when people have shops in small resort towns.
Oh, really?
That you can be highly profitable in those towns because, there's no competition. You can charge a lot. You have out of towners that need to, if you have something happen and you're in some little mountain resort town, you got to get it fixed. Not much choices, so you can leave for your, go home after your vacation.
Right.
But that's not how we run our businesses.
The same with gas stations too. Some gas stations, because of the location, they charge more or less. It depends.
Yeah. We have a shop in Yuma, and if you get out in the middle of either between Yuma and Albuquerque or Yuma and San Diego, there's a couple spots where there's like one gas station. You pay so much. Yeah. You have to remember I'm always like, I got to get gas while I'm in Yuma, like at that shop, because there's nothing for a few hours in either direction.
You hear about the gas station? On the news I saw there's a gas station on the border of, I think it's Nevada or Arizona, that's empty in California side because people are jumping over the border just to get gas on the other state side because it's like $3 cheaper.
Oh.
And so the gas stations on the California side are just like ghost towns.
I don't think that's California-Arizona border because that's like very mountainous there on the California side. There's not much right over the border, but maybe California, Nevada.
Yeah, definitely. So you got 7 kids, is it now?
Yeah.
Wow. How do you manage that with like all the shops? Are you trying to get 1 kid per shop? Is that what you're doing?
We did that already because until January, I had 7 kids and 7 shops, but I'm not having any more kids. So we're never going back to the matchy. It was cute. Well, it lasted for 11 months and it was adorable to have 7 kids and 7 shops. But
you name each shop, each kid's name for each shop?
It is no more.
Well, but how do you manage it all though? Like, how do you manage it as a mom and like, business owner and running all this stuff? How do you do it all?
I don't do it all. And what did I read recently? Like every business is owned by, we can't cuss on this podcast, by an ADHD MFer.
Is that you? I'm the same way too.
Like, I don't know. I don't like to be bored, so I've designed a life where I'm never bored. And sometimes I just collapse because I have, I have been called one speed, but actually it's 2 because there's the one speed, and then sometimes there's collapsing. But in my team, in my company, I'm really lucky now that I don't do everything. Like that's why sometimes you ask me a question, I'm like, I don't know the answer because my team does that, right? My business partners, he's COO, everything that happens inside of the shops, he's sort of responsible for. I mean, we have HR, we have finance, so we have a lot
That's
of
good.
backups on that front. I consistently hire people to do jobs that I used to do that are better at it than I was.
Well, it's great you're at that level now because I think starting out when you're brand new, like you have to handle it all.
Yeah,
Entrepreneur
I
city.
just given birth to my 6th child when I started. So
Wow.
I don't know. You just keep going anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
you just
find
do
the
it
energy.
anyway. And
You
in
gotta-
some
you
way,
gotta
you
have
have no
passion.
choice. Like if you have another kid, you're not going to not take care of that next kid. Like it's the same
No,
with
some
work. I'm not
people, I
just
don't
going to
know.
like not take care of the 8th business.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people like put things on autopilot though a lot. I mean, they kind of rely on other people to kind of do things for them, and then sometimes those things don't work out because the other person didn't realize they're supposed to be taking care of that thing you put in front of them, that kind of stuff. So
We're all just doing our best at life, right?
no, I guess when it comes to the downside of all this of running a business is, had you had to do any firing of employees for like crazy things that you're like, I gave you like 18 tries and now you just like blew this customer's engine up. You got to go. Has there been something like that ever happened with you guys?
Yeah, I think we have never fired an employee for making a mistake. So let me clarify that. Like, if you did your best and something got messed up, like as a company, we're going to cover that. Like, we think that you didn't intend to do that. And we've never had someone who just sort of like repetitively made these major mistakes because we have the foreman checking their work, we have the QC process. So I feel like we're designed to have that not happen. But of course, we've had to fire people. Last year, we had a manager steal $30,000 from us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We've had some rough situations. And I think that at the end of the day, our policy at Mango is to have fun because life's too short and you spend so much time at work. And
Yeah.
I don't think every employee has fun every day, which is sort of unrealistic. But I think a lot of our employees like do enjoy coming to work and we try to support them. I mean, we've paid for employees to go to rehab. We try to be there for them. I say to work at Mango Automotive, you only need one quality. And that quality is a growth mindset because I can train any employee how to sell or how to fix, do some kind of fix on a vehicle. But if you already think you know it all, I can't help you.
Yeah, I'm sure you get some of those coming in. Like I've worked at like 20 shops for 20 years and I know everything, every car inside out. You can't tell me anything, can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, and we have 3 different training programs because we really believe in it. My favorite one is Mango University, and it's not focused on automotive repair. It's just like if you want to take a course or read a book, we'll send it to you, we'll pay for it, go to this website, like choose it, and then it shows up in your mailbox because we believe like continuous learning is so important, whether you're learning how to be a leader or, how to put spark plugs in. We want to support our employees. And if they do have a growth mindset, they're hungry to learn too. So we got to provide those opportunities.
Yeah, never stop learning. You should always be learning and learning new things and don't think you know everything. I mean, I don't think I know everything, so I'm always trying to learn things with all kinds of stuff I do.
Great. You could work for Mango.
Oh, really?
You have that one quality, the only thing you need.
Well, there you go. Hey, well, speaking of that, he opened a shop out here in California. When are you going to be moving to California?
Well, we've been looking. So when we find the right shop.
I'm sure there's plenty of them. I mean, just mere massive vehicles on the road in California. You would think there's like a shop in every corner. I mean, it depends where you live. There's shops everywhere.
There's a lot of shops, yeah. I think there are certain places where you've already seen private equity gobble up a bunch of shops. So there's not as much available. And so you might see a shop that feels like your little, it's like San Diego Family Auto Repair. And like when you look into it, they're owned by, a big conglomerate. So a lot of that has happened in sort of Southern California and in some of the more major cities as well, like Phoenix. So it just, if if your shop wants to sell, send the owner my name. I'd love to talk to him.
Well, there you go. If you're listening out there in podcast land. Yeah. Automotive repair is something that we kind of like don't want to have to like think about it, but we kind of have to when things do go wrong and things do happen. And I kind of wonder how like a lot of people don't ever step foot in an automotive shop until something breaks. And you probably should go in there for maintenance, oil changes, and things of that sort fairly rarely. But I think as cars get older, probably more frequent than cars that are newer. I think if you have a new car, you probably think, oh, it's good. It's new. It's a new car. It's reliable. It's good, whatever. But things do happen. Things go wrong. And you probably still should stay up with your maintenance program. So when it comes to standard maintenance programs, I'm sure you guys do all the standard stuff, the regular oil changes and the tune-ups and spark plugs and all the normal kind of stuff. And you don't do the monthly thing anymore. You said you're doing that, the monthly subscription.
We're doing it for customers who already have it, but not new customers. Yeah.
Got it. So a new customer can't get in like that. Mm-hmm. So is there any special programs or any special deals or anything like that you guys have for maintenance-wise stuff? Not repair stuff, but maintenance-wise stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're always running different coupons, so you guys can ask about that. I think the thing that's really important to me is like, we do a full inspection on every vehicle. So
good.
When the vehicle comes in, if you come in to get your brakes done, like we're going to replace your brakes. But I always, tell our employees, like if we replace their brakes and we didn't notice like their struts are cracking, like, and they drive down the road and have an issue, like that's our responsibility. Like we messed up. So, when you come to us for just your oil change, like we're not only going to look up what your regular factory maintenance should be, but we're also going to examine the vehicle. And we're not just going to throw it all at you either. We're going to say like, these are, if there's a safety item, if this was my daughter, I would tell her to fix this. Like,
right.
You really need to get new brakes and, your tires are bald. Like you really need to fix these safety items. Sometime in the next 6 months, like you probably want to look at these items, and then these other items aren't as important, but have them on your radar, like they might come up and be issues you need to fix. So anyone who comes into a Mango shop is going to have a really good sense for what where their vehicle is at and what needs to be repaired because we do that full inspection on every vehicle.
And as a customer ever, like, has it been so bad where you said, you really need to fix this? Like, don't leave the shop until you fix this. And the customer says like, no, it's fine. I'll deal with it later. Do you have to have them sign a waiver or anything like that?
I mean, it's not that we have to, but we do because we just feel so serious about it. Like, your vehicle, you're risking your life if you get in a vehicle that has a major safety problem. So we've definitely had customers refuse to make fixes, and we've asked them like, can you sign this? I just, I really want you to be safe.
Right.
I get that you don't want to fix it now. I highly encourage you to fix it here or anywhere, take it somewhere else. We can tow it to another shop for you, and if you insist on getting your vehicle back and not fixing that safety item, we'll just ask you to sign, here, because we do think it's our responsibility.
That's good. It's good because I wonder if, like, heaven forbid, like they refuse the repair, it damage or kill somebody, and they go after you guys. And well, you guys worked on it last. Why don't you guys, or whatever? It's kind of like, cover your butt.
I think that's hard because sometimes you might fix something and it can happen that they'll drive down the road and, something else will break that wasn't even near what we touched. But it feels like to the customer, you touched my car. Yeah. And then 10 miles later, this thing broke. That's why we try to catch it and give them a warning if we think it's going to break. But some things just break with no warning, right? So I think as a shop, we just always try to do right by the customer and serve them how they see fit. But it has happened in a couple of circumstances that there's a disconnect there.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's kind of the joys of owning a car. It's one of those things, I think, when you own a car that you have to kind of realize that repairs are needed. Things do break, and maintenance is not a recommendation. It's something you should be doing on your vehicle regularly. Oil changes. Change the oil, kids. Come on, you know?
I think it's really hard for people like right now. So there's a couple of things that affect people's willingness to bring in their cars. One is the Manheim Index, is sort of like the price of vehicles. And as the price of vehicles goes up, especially used vehicles, and new vehicles, people tend to hang on to their vehicles for longer and be more willing to fix them. But the one thing that makes it hard for people to fix their vehicles is when you see the price of gasoline skyrocket for obvious reasons, right? Like we're driving around, more cash is coming out of our pocket. We have less cash for repairs. So that can be a really hard time for our customers. And we're sort of in that time right now. So I would just encourage you, if you need maintenance on your vehicle, go to a shop you trust and, really understand the situation that your car's in, fix any safety items. And if there are some other things that you can wait on, you can wait on those things. But I think it's tricky right in the current economic climate.
Oh, it is. It is. It's much easier to spend money when you have money.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Well, Jesse, this has been so fantastic having you on the show today. And I appreciate you and your shop. And if anyone's looking to get a repair shop, get some stuff done, go to Mango Automotive. Where can you find your shops? Is it mangoautomotive.com?
Yeah, we're mangoautomotive.com. And if you happen to have any shop owners listening, can I give them my cell phone number?
Do you want to put your cell phone number on the podcast?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I'm crazy like that.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
I'm totally sure.
Okay.
I see you trying to talk me out of it.
Well, I mean, normally I would say no, but
You can't
but
tell
if
me
you want,
no. Don't cut this.
Okay. If you want to, go right ahead.
Okay, look, you can text 505-441-4779. Just mention Cool Cars with Chris. And if you want to talk anything shop or you're thinking about retiring, feel free to shoot a text.
Okay. Got it. Sounds fantastic. Well, Jess, you have a fantastic rest of your day and rest of your week, and we will talk later.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Chris.